Live and Uncut. As you know, Nicky's not here; he's in Mexico, so I've got the next best thing, Mr. Preview, Mr. Preview himself. Scott, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Before we jump into the topic is, can we make it 3 wins in a week? Let's talk about your little trip on Tuesday night. You was up at Newport with Dan. Good trip.
Yeah, it was, mate. It was all right. Me and Lawless. Yeah, it was good. Had a good laugh driving up there and coming back. It's just disappointing that the microphone packed it in during the fan cams, which weren't good. So apologies for everyone with that. If anyone's watching that, took time out to chat to us. That was a bit disappointing, But it was a good result. It was a good game.
It happens, mate. It happens to the best of us. It happened to me and Nicky before, mate. It happens. But no, I mean, I ain't really spoke to you since. I've done a live reaction after, and I see your post-match drive home. Glad you had your hands on the steering wheel when you done coming on. Safety first. That's a safety first channel. But
that's it.
What did you make of it? I thought we was comfortable. They had their chances, but I think we looked comfortable.
I thought overall, look, they played all right in the first half, but I thought we dominated that second half. Every team has chances, didn't they? And they didn't take theirs. We took ours. Bit lucky with the first one, but I thought we fully deserved the win.
Yeah, I agree. Man City played Newport last year, and Newport had chances against Man City. But
exactly,
I'm saying these teams will get chances. I just think some people were a bit harsh on our players at the week on Tuesday night. But look, it's a comfortable win. Now we move on. We've got Oxford away in the next round.
Decent draw.
Yeah, it's a decent draw. With all the big teams sort of avoided each other, weren't they? I mean, the standout tie was probably Portsmouth versus Southampton, which is obviously going to be a massive South Coast derby. But Tottenham got who they get? They got Colchester away, didn't they?
Yeah. Colchester away. United got, was it Rotherham or someone at home? I can't. I only looked at it a little while ago as well. I can't remember.
Yeah. One comment I'm going to bring up here, Scott, because you're like this one. Oh, hang on, not that one. Oh, where's it gone? Okay. There you go. Jesus, Nicky has been on the Love that.
I'm probably the second fattest on the channel now. I think I
spoke to him the other day, and he was like, "Oh, he went, I'm in trouble out here." But it's been a good week for West Ham. We obviously got the first win of the season at Watford last week, and then second win Newport. And then we go into the weekend against Norwich. Norwich obviously lost at home last week to Chelsea and lost in the cup as well to Crawley. So they're going to be looking for a win. We want to end the week on a high. How do you think it's going to go, mate? Mr. Preview. I haven't watched your preview yet. It's already out. So
the thing is, it's good for us because, start of the season, we've picked up points, which is the main thing. 2 away games, 4 points, unbeaten away. When was the last time we were unbeaten away after 2 games? That's the thing. And then, the win at Newport as well. So it's unbeaten away in 3 games. Norwich, they're going to be tricky, aren't they? They've got some good players and, they've got a bit of pace about them, but I think they're very fragile at the back. I was watching Dan's thing with Chris, and even that Chris was saying it.
Yeah, one player, probably their standout player is Pukki up front. I've watched a lot of him. I see a bit of him last season. I like watching the Championship, and he was obviously the standout player last season for them and in the whole league. But, he will cause our back 4 problems with his movement.
Massively.
So our back 4 need to be on their game on Saturday. I don't know how Pellegrini's going to start. I thought Balbuena looked quite comfortable the other night. Would you bring him straight back in, or would you stick with Ogbonna and Diop?
I don't think Ogbonna done much wrong. He got slated, didn't he? We were watching it, and on Twitter he was slated. I don't think he done a lot wrong. I thought Tuesday night Diop was quite poor, if I'm honest.
Yeah, he got caught out a few times.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's by, no disrespect to him, but a League 2 striker. If it said the movement that Pukki's got, but saying that, the way that Pukki plays, it may suit us a bit more defensively, if you get what I mean. His movement's good, but player, if Ogbonna's a bit more switched on, Balbuena deserves a chance to step back in the team. I think he was a bit harsh because he got dropped straight after the 5-0, didn't he?
Yeah. Do you think maybe Balbuena would be a better option as a sort of to let Diop man mark sort of Pukki? Because not only that, I mean, Masuaku will probably be brought back into the team and Ryan Frederick. So they're going to have to work hard as well. They're going to have to work to stop the service coming in to Pukki because he's going to be making them runs. I think the pitch is going to suit Norwich on Saturday.
I'm with you as well, mate. I think, as I said, the way they play, the way they set up, and they've got that no fear as well, haven't they? Like they're not just there just to make up the numbers. They're here to do something, and it's going to be tricky. It is going to be tricky. They've got pace, they've got something about them, but I just think the way if we start well and the link up between our front line, look, Yarmolenko's going to be that much fitter if he starts. Anderson. He's had a lot of game time, but again, tricky customer. I don't think they're going to be able to handle our attack.
Yeah, one thing. I mean, massive blow on Tuesday night was Antonio. Looks like he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks with his hamstring. I know Pellegrini said he's going to be having surgery on it tomorrow or within the next 48 hours. So it's a massive blow. But maybe this is a time now for a player like Yarmolenko to grab this chance. He probably didn't want to do it like this with Antonio being injured, but it's a big chance for the Yarmolenko now to step up and show why we paid a lot of money for him last year.
Yeah, and that's it. You think he had that long spell out. He's had a long spell out. He's only just come back. He didn't look that fit to me against Watford, but I just think he brings something different. He's a class player. And it's very, very unfortunate losing Antonio the way we did. He literally, he was bearing down right in front of me and Dan, where we were sitting. So we were, just to the right, just to the left as you look at the goal. And he come bearing down, and then it was just, you thought the guy tripped him.
Yeah.
And it like had been shot in the back of the leg, and he just hit the deck. And
when you go down like that, and he knew straight away, he signalled straight away to the bench to get him off. I don't know why he tried to stand up. Maybe it was just adrenaline, but
I don't know. Right.
It's a massive blow because Antonio, for me, especially in the last 2 games, has made a big difference in the last 2 league games, Brighton and Watford. So he's going to be a massive blow. But another player that should be back on Saturday is Hernandez. He's recovered from his knee injury. Last week it was a bug, then it was a thigh injury. Now it's a knee injury. So, but he's going to be back. So, does that obviously with him being back in? Because I Sebastian Haller is going to go straight back up front, and does that mean that a Yeti now is going to be down the pecking order because Hernandez will probably be put more first choice than him, really, won't he?
The
other night, a Yeti.
I don't think he had that much service. It's a bit hard. It was hard for him coming in first game and all that, but I just don't think he really got the service. His movement was okay.
Yeah.
He seems to want the ball to feet a lot. There was times when, especially in the first half, he was asking for the ball to feet, and people weren't playing it to him, and we looked over the top a bit, and he doesn't look like that type of striker. But as Hernandez, he started against Brighton, he got a goal, then gets an injury. You've got to put him in front of a Yeti. You can't, strikers are there to score goals. And that's what we need. Yeah,
I mean, Anderson probably played more minutes the other night than what he was expected to. But he looked sharp. He looks all right. Another player as well that could be in contention for the first 11 this week is Jack Wilshere. He was named man of the match on Tuesday, scored his first goal for the club.
Got a bit lucky with a read, but that's the thing. He lost the ball, he chased it up, and we reap the rewards. And how many times do we see we lose the ball and don't do that?
He never give up when other players did. So it's a great finish as well. I'm glad to see him get his first goal, and who knows, maybe now he could sort of kick on and try to get himself back into the first team because he was left out the match day squad last week. He wasn't happy. Yeah. I think that showed on Tuesday night that he wasn't happy. He's got something to prove. But
I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. I don't get why he was left out of the squad completely.
Snodgrass was as well, and I thought we had a good game against Brighton. So it's as West Ham fans, we're not used to this. players being left out of the 8 squad. Usually we struggle to get like a bench.
Well, that's it. Yeah, no. Go on.
No, we've got so many, well, apart from Antonio now and Winston Reid, we've got a fully fit squad.
Yeah, we're not used to having like the squad rotation.
No, we're not.
We normally have a bench of about 2 first teamers and five youngsters. So
yeah,
it's a good headache to have though.
We had on the bench on Tuesday night. He could have called on like £100 million worth of talent sitting there. When have you known West Ham to be in that?
That's mad. It's mad, mate, isn't it?
So it is crazy, but yeah, I mean, let's get Mike's in the room.
Hi, Mike.
I think Wilshere has played well, but for me, I think if we're sticking with the same formation, it'd be Nobes and Rice sitting with Anderson, Yama and Lanzini. Jack's got to be on the bench, though. Yeah, I sort of do agree with that. I wouldn't put Jack Wilshere back in the starting lineup on Saturday personally, but he's given him a good headache.
Yeah, of course, that's it.
Mark Noble was left out of the squad on Tuesday night. Understandable. He's come back from the injury and played 90 minutes on Saturday. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, mate. It's a nice headache for us. We've done loads of post-match pints over the years. We've struggled. I mean, you do the starting lineups, and you've struggled to name the bench. Who's on the bench, and none of us remember who's on the bench.
No, exactly. That's it. And this, it's for a change. It's a good headache to have. But Mike's right. You can't drop Noble. No way can you drop Noble after that performance. And I think this will probably suit
you. Swear on this show, Scott.
Thing is, you've converted me, mate. I was a Noble critic, but now I see.
I think Noble's converted a lot of people, mate.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. He has, I think the Watford game showed what he brings to us, and what he can still do. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he can play every game. I don't think he can play. There's certain games I think he'll get caught out in, but that's the depth of the squad you've got. You've then got the likes of Wilshere, and to be fair, even Sanchez didn't have a bad game against against Newport.
A lot of people slating him on Tuesday night, and I didn't think he was that bad. I've seen him play a lot worse. Yeah,
that's it. And people say, "Oh, it's League Two opposition," but the guy, again, another one, big injury, just coming back. I think everyone thinks of the Wolves game when he cost us the game.
Yeah,
he cost us a point, and that's what they're rating him on. I know he hasn't looked great, but he's another one who's coming back from injury. Don't get me wrong; he doesn't start over Rice, Noble, or Wilshere, but
no, definitely not.
He's a player who can come in and do a job. But we'll just have to wait and see what Pellegrini wants to do. Pellegrini must trust him because he's not moved him on or anything like that.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, with Pellegrini, we've got to sort of trust Pellegrini as well, haven't we, with his squad selections? Because, as I said, I was a bit disappointed that people like Snodgrass was not included and Wilshere wasn't included against Watford. But look, we went out and won, and the substitutes that come on that game changed the game for us. So Pellegrini, that's why Pellegrini's paid a lot of money, and he's the manager of West Ham, and we sit in on YouTube talking absolute rubbish.
Exactly, right. That's it. He's paid the big bucks to make the decisions and know what he's doing, and slowly, I think he's getting there. Yeah,
I mean, but let's talk a little bit more about Saturday, because I think there is a Norwich fan in the room. I did see a comment go up, but I missed it. As we said, I mean, Norwich are going to come to that London Stadium. It's their first visit to London Stadium. It's a big pitch. They like to play football on the floor. So they're going to, hopefully, want a game against us, And as I said, their standout player is their striker, Pukki. But they've got some other decent players as well. I've been impressed with Norwich since they've been in the Premier League. I watched the highlights of the Chelsea game, and even though they lost,
they were unlucky.
They were very unlucky.
Yeah.
So but here we go. Look, he's just popped up again. Cameron Hansel. I think if you play your high line against us, then Pukki will exploit it. My only worries going against you guys is the defence, mainly our centre back spots, and you guys have a good attack. That's basically us saying that to them as well, isn't it? Really.
But this is it. You look at our back four and their back four. Our back four, you would say on paper, is a lot better, but overall, it's probably our weakest. Even though Balbuena's a great defender, Diop's a class act, and he's still learning, and we've got two decent fullbacks. That's still our weakest position, at the back. And he's right in what he says. If we do play it, we might get caught out. But I just think that they're going to have to overcompensate for us going forward.
Yeah.
Chelsea ain't the Chelsea of old, and Chelsea scored 3 goals against them. I just think we've got the capability of doing the same. It's just whether we can keep them out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. It's gonna be a great game, I think. The way I've seen the two teams set up and play this season, it could be a high scoring game as well.
Yeah.
We're probably sitting here next Monday talking about a 0-0, but it could be, because we've sort of struggled against newly promoted teams when they've come up and we've played them at London Stadium, and I think sometimes that comes down to how can I say this? Like a bit of lack of respect for the team. Like we're just going to turn up and beat them. And I remember Brighton, when they first come to London Stadium, beat us 3-0. Newcastle beat us 3-0. Wolves beat us 1-0. It's going to be a tough game. And I think for us to beat Norwich, we have to sort of play them at their own game.
Definitely, mate. Definitely.
Players like Lanzini on Saturday need to step up a bit more. Anderson as well. I don't know. I'm trying to call it who he's going to start on Saturday, because do you think he'll keep it the same as Watford?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think he will. I can't see him changing it, to be honest. He said probably Balbuena may be the only one to come in. I don't, as much as Wilshere had a good game, you can't drop Noble and Rice on their performances. Rice had a quiet game against Watford, but he's still done what he had to do. But having Wilshere on the bench in this one could end up being a game changer.
Also, you got Fornals, who scored his first goal for the club on Tuesday. He'll want to be. He's knocking at Pellegrini's door. He wants to start.
Exactly.
So it's. I mean, he started against Brighton and he didn't really have much of an impact, did he? Really? So,
but it's Brighton. Your first real Premier League game, and you're playing against Brighton, who are hard-working, a very physical side. I know the Premier League's a physical thing, but when you've got to adapt into a league, he ain't the biggest of the guys either. He's like Lanzini. Lanzini, when he first come in, he's probably got that little bit more about him, but it takes a little while for them to adapt. And I just think Brighton was the wrong game for him to come in to start, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Brighton's a tough game for anyone to come into, especially away from home. But I mean, what's your score? I hate doing this because they usually come back to bite us. But saying that, I did say 3-1 last week to West Ham against Watford, so that was right. I wish I was more of a gambling man, mate, because I'll be rigged.
With my predictions, mate, I'm terrible.
I think it's going to be. Well, I've seen your predictions, Scott. We'd have won the league for the last 5 seasons with your predictions. You never predict us to lose. But,
that's it, mate.
I think it's going to be a close game. I do think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go for a 3-2 West Ham win. 3-2 home win.
Do you know what? I was going to say the same. I think there'll be goals in it, and I think 3-2 us. I think we'll just nick it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of them tight games. I think Norwich are going to give us a real good game. They're going to score. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-2. I think I fancy Sebastian Haller as well to get on the score sheet.
Definitely.
I mean, the way he played against Watford. I'm glad he didn't. I want to see him play all the time, but I'm glad he didn't get a run out the other night. There's a few people in the chat sort of agreeing with us: 3-2, 2-1, 4-2. I think I see someone earlier say 5-4. So everyone's expecting a high-scoring game here, but
it's going to be 0-0, mate. You just know.
Yeah. It's going to be one of them ones, mate. It's we're going to be sitting here 0-0, last on match of the day. Even if we win 5-4, we're going to be last on match of the day. So it doesn't matter.
Of course. But, I'm with you. I just think Haller is going to be the difference. As much as they've got Pukki, I just think their weakest position on the pitch is centre halves.
Yeah.
And I just think Haller is going to cause them so many problems. They're not going to be able to handle him. And from set pieces, we are now a threat, which we haven't been for a while.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, isn't it? We sort of showed that against Watford, how much of a threat we are at corners, and maybe that's why Antonio is going to be a big miss for us over the next. He's probably going to miss the next 6 to 8 games. I think he's going to be out for I reckon about 8 weeks, because he might be out for 6 weeks, but he's got to get back in training and fitness up. So that's 8 weeks there.
And and he relies so much heavily on his pace as well. And when hamstring injuries like that, they affect you so much.
Oh, look, duvet dancer, scrappy 1-0 VAR decision in the last minute. See, now we'll be loving VAR if that happens.
Yeah, definitely.
I just think for the momentum going into the international break, it'll be 7 points out of 12 if we beat Norwich, which is a massive improvement on last season.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind we lost our first 4 games last year.
Exactly.
We played Man City. I think we've got a good. We'll be unbeaten in our last 3 games. Brighton, Watford. Oh, 4 if we beat Norwich.
Going into this game with the points that we've picked up, plus the win in the cup, you've got to be happy with that. You know, we all writ the City game off. Yeah, we all knew, as much as you can hope you're going to get something out of it, we all knew deep down we were never going to get anything. And, to go to Brighton, not play particularly well, get a draw, go to Watford, end-to-end game, but come out scoring 3 goals and winning. It was a comfortable win in the end, I thought. And then, obviously, the tricky tie in the League Cup, and we got through that. So we're in a good position. It's probably, if we turn Norwich over, we don't want the international break to come.
Yeah, that's the thing. It could come at a wrong time for us. When you come back from international break, you could have a couple of players that have picked up a couple of injuries during the international break. That's what we don't want. Because then we come back and we've got to remember that we don't play until the Monday night after the international break. We play Aston Villa away, so that's going to be a tricky game. But I mean, that's sort of it for the Norwich game. But I've just seen a bit of breaking news here coming up saying that Manuel Lanzini is close to signing a new 5-year deal within the next couple of days.
That's good. That's very good.
Keep him at the club until he's 31. Which for me would be massive for West Ham. I said this when me and Nicky done the live shows a couple of weeks after the transfer window shut. I said, if we can get the Lanzini deal done, tie him down to a new deal, I think he's only on something like 35 grand a week, so he needs an improved deal. If not, you'll have people sniffing around for him. I think I've always liked Lanzini. I know he gets a lot of critics, but he was injured for a long time. He's come back, and I think that this season we've seen the old Lanzini, and the more games he plays, the fitter he'll get, the better he'll get, and he'll start adding to his game more, and he'll pick up a few more goals and assists. So that's only great news for the club and great news for us fans.
It's the thing. It's massive as well that we're keeping hold of these players and tying them down to contracts. We've signed quality players in the transfer window. We're getting better players to stay at the club. We had the interest in Diop. There's Lanzini tying himself now down to a long-term deal. And I think I was guilty of it as well. When he first came back from that injury at the end of last season, I think we were too harsh on him.
Yeah.
Because of coming back from the type of injury he had. He had a really bad injury. It took his time, but he started the season he's flying. His forms at the minute is brilliant.
He's like the Lanzini we had when we played at the Boleyn, last season.
Yes.
Unbelievable player, but he is a great player. And just looking at there, he's going to be in the bracket of over 100 grand a week. So look,
it's deserved, isn't it? It's deserved.
He's one of our top players, so he needs to be one of our top earners. And I think it's great news for the club. And hopefully within the next couple of days, that'll all be. They're probably working on the announcement video now. You know what the club are like; they love a little announcement video. So
yeah, that's it. Him signing that deal things are moving in the right direction for us. This could be a decent season. It's got the potential. The way we've started, the players that we've got now, they're only going to get better. They're only going to improve. Hilaire, Fornals, they're only going to get better and better and better once they adapt to the Premier League. We said it on PMP. Let's take the cup seriously. That's the one.
I said it the other night on the reaction that this is a cup West Ham should concentrate. Pellegrini's won it twice, so he knows what it's like to win this cup. The League Cup's massive. I know some clubs don't think it's massive, but it's a massive competition. And if you had the choice out the League Cup and the FA Cup, you take the FA Cup because that's But
of course you did. The FA Cup's the prestigious one of the two. But the problem is
this club's too big. We're coming up to our 40th anniversary of our last ever domestic cup win. So we need to. We've got Oxford, and no disrespect to Oxford, that is another team that we should be going now and beating. Will said that against AFC Wimbledon in the FA Cup, so we've got to take it serious. But I think with the squad we've got and the rotation of the squad, I think that we can hopefully have a day out of Wembley, mate, and see this club in a major honour.
We deserve it. As fans, we've been put through a bit. I know there's other clubs out there that are going through a lot of bad times at the minute, and we've had a bad period. So this would be a bit of an icing on the cake if we can get to a cup final this season. Especially with everything that's happened over the past few years. I said it's nothing in comparison to what Bury are going through at the minute, but
I mean that's a sad thing with modern day football, and it is when you get a club like Bury go out of business. I mean, Bury would always be in our history because it was our highest ever record win, 10-0. And you almost had Bolton go out of business. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Bolton. I don't really like Bolton, but I wouldn't want to see them go out of business because that's so many people out of a job, and fans don't deserve that. And the reason I don't like Bolton is because it goes back to the year we was relegated. When their fans, I just remember being up there when we lost 1-0, and I remember the way their fans were, and ever since then, I just haven't liked them.
Disliking to them, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see them ever go out of business. I don't want to see any club go out of business.
No, it's the bad thing about modern day football is the fact that this could happen. There's surely must be some.
It's not that as well. It's the way that they've let it happen, like the FA and things like that. But I see a lot of fans blaming Premier League teams and all things like that. I think it's a bit harsh just to say, but the Premier League teams are spending this and things like that. I mean, it's one of them ones, and you can't help every club, but maybe the FA should have done a bit more to save Bury. But I'm sure they'll be back. They'll have to start from the very bottom, but I'm sure they'll be back. I just think it's their fans.
Yeah, and the thing is, people say the Premier League clubs, it's partly to blame. At the end of the day, the Premier League pumps money into the lower leagues. You look when we got relegated, and then we sold Glenn Johnson and Joe Cole. Straight away after we got relegated, that £12 million I think we got for the pair of them, 13 million, something like that practically saved the club, and that was back then. And the money does filter through when the youngsters get picked up from these lower league sides and things like that and get moved in to the Premier League sides, or the money filters down. We buy a Championship player, that money goes to a Championship club, they go and buy a League One, League Two player. The money filters down, and I think that there is too much money in football and too much money in the Premier League, but it's also because of the Premier League why some clubs are still about.
Yeah,
Bury's plight is down to the guy that bought them. Nothing to do with the Premier League.
Yeah, it's a bit like the situation with Leyton Orient, wasn't it, a few years ago, and things like that. But I mean, one other thing I want to talk about, mate, a bit more good news for West Ham fans today. We all expected it anyway, but Declan Rice was named in the England squad. I mean, as I said, we all expected it. I always get nervous when our players get called up for international football. But
Same.
Good news for Declan Rice is that his best mate Mason Mount's also been included.
Yeah.
Squad. So, I mean, I'm just looking at the squad here, and Southgate's building a really good squad, isn't he? Young, talented squad. I mean, even Carl Walker didn't make the squad.
No,
it's not because he's injured. It's because Southgate rang him up and said, "Look, you're basically my first choice right back. Have a break. I'm going to give other people a chance because I think we've got eight games before we play in the European Championships next summer." So players like Maddison's been called up, which is Oxlade-Chamberlain's sort of back
in the squad. Yeah, Mings got called up as well, didn't he?
Sancho, this young, talented squad. But Declan Rice back in the England squad. It's good. It's good for West Ham. It's good for England. It's good for Declan Rice.
Yeah, he is the best English player at that position at the moment. There's no one better in holding midfield. And the good thing for us and probably for England as well, he's still learning.
I mean, just looking at the squad, it's only sort of Jordan Henderson and Harry Winks that sort of play in that. Does Harry Winks play in that sort of position, holding midfielder?
Don't know. I'm not too sure where he plays. Any bit further forward for him.
Yeah,
not too sure.
He's only got Henderson really to back in that position.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You've got Henderson's a Champions League winning player, so he's he's not useless. He's not a poor player, but Rice can keep him out of the side. And it benefits. There's benefits all the way. With Southgate, I just like what he's doing at the minute. I didn't think at the start he was the right person for it, but I watched his press conference today, and the way he deals with players. The fact that he took time out to ring all the players up that he left out of the squad just goes to show the type of person that he is.
Why? Because he's been in that situation as a player. So you got to remember, he only played for England in the last 20 years. Gareth Southgate, maybe the last 20 years. So he's been in them squads. He knows what it's like to be left out. He knows what it's like to miss a penalty. He knows what it's like to go out of tournaments. So that's why I think it's good for Southgate. He sort of puts his arm around them and he makes them feel like they are the best players in the world. One thing as well that Wan-Bissaka, now he got called up today. He's played 3 games for Man United. He's in the England squad. He was in probably better form for Crystal Palace last season and never got a look in. So is this another thing that because I've always thought Southgate sort of looks at all clubs. But with his form at Crystal Palace, that's the reason why Man United pay big money for him. So maybe, why didn't he get that call up last season? Yeah,
exactly. But it's a tough one to say, really, because obviously you've got decent players in that position. And it does put that in your head. Is he just not? He's there on his ability, but as he, like you said, has he been called up because he's now at United and not at Palace? But on the other case of it, Rice got called up when he was playing for us. And last season, we wasn't in a much different position to where Palace was last season. I just think he picks the players when he wants them. He knows when he feels he knows when they're ready. If you know what I mean.
I'm excited.
You think you got Trippier as well playing in that position as well when he's back in the squad.
Yeah. I was going to say he started off the season really well for Atletico Madrid. So. Yeah, maybe it's going to be interesting. But look, as I said, I love seeing Declan Rice in the England squad. There's not really many West Ham players that could sort of push for that England squad, is there really? I mean, Noble's never going to get his chance, which is a crime because he represented England at under 21 level. He was captain for 2 finals, was it? Harry, even in that season, the last at the Bowling, Harry never even got a sniff of that England squad. I'll never know. But look, as we sing, he's too good for England, and he always will be. He's our future president, prime minister. Sorry,
vote Noble. But that's the thing, though. If you look at Nobes, like you said, the form he had back then, perhaps if he was now under a Southgate type of manager coming through the way he has the way he did with the under-21s, maybe now, because Southgate's that type of manager, if you go back to when Noble was in the under-21s and playing all the time for them, maybe he would have got brought through, because that's what Southgate seems to do. He puts trust in the young players who have played the under-21 international level and starts bringing them into the first team squad. So maybe it's just a timing, but he was up against a lot of high-profile midfielders as well.
Well, you've also got Jack Wilshere as well, but I don't know whether he'd ever get back in the England squad now. He has to sort of be in our first team regularly, playing well before he even gets a look in. But yeah, I mean, if anyone in the chat's got any questions for Scott, fire them away, and I'll put them up on the screen. But anything else you want to talk about, mate?
No, that's it. Just looking forward to Saturday now. It's get back to London Stadium and try and kickstart our home season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to London Stadium. Hopefully, see us put on a good performance. Obviously, happy fan cams, a win, happy fan cams.
Yes,
happy post-match pint. Post-match pint Watford was he done really well on the views.
No. I think because we enjoy doing them, I think that comes across, doesn't it? When we're all together,
Especially when we win.
Yeah, when we win's even better.
Moby Dick says, "Good to see you back, Scott."
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Matt Powell, have you got a postcard yet off Nicky? No, but he does message us sort of every day.
Yeah.
I think he's missing the channel and he can't wait to get back.
It's a bit too hot for him out there, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Scott, since you're the golden bloke on predictions, hang on a minute. Rangers versus Celtic and North London derby predictions. Rangers Celtic, that's a massive game, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Celtic's going to be too strong for Rangers again this year. I'm going for Celtic 2-1, and I think the North London derby is going to be an interesting one.
I think Arsenal beat Spurs.
I think so. I've heard off a couple of people there's a few problems going on at Tottenham, which is rather nice to hear. So
that's what we want to hear, Scott. That's the exactly. Good news.
Yeah, and that's coming from Spurs fans. So it's that could be an interesting game. I think Arsenal may do them. I'm going 1-0 Arsenal for that one.
I mean, I was out last Sunday up London, and I went into a pub for a couple of drinks because it was baking hot, and the Tottenham game was on. I watched the second half against Newcastle, and they looked poor, didn't they, Spurs?
Yeah.
Newcastle weren't great, but yeah, they did look poor. But yeah, I'm going to go for an Arsenal win. But just a quick question here, mate.
Go on.
Fremad 007, will Holland get a chance this season? Because I know how you like the youngsters and you like seeing the youngsters break through. Nathan Holland, do you think that he will get a chance this season?
I was surprised he weren't in the squad Tuesday, if I'm honest. I thought that was a game. Don't get me wrong, it surprised me as well that Pellegrini didn't make substitutions in that game. I don't know whether he was trying to keep the clean sheet as a must because we haven't had one in a little while. But yeah, I was surprised Holland weren't there because I thought that would have been a perfect game, especially with Antonio going off. He could have been someone to come on. I know he went for Anderson because of the more experience, but I just don't quite get it. I'm hoping he will, but he's got a lot of competition in front of him this season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's got to sort of put it in training, and when he does get a chance, he's got to take his chance.
Yeah. That is it with him. He's got the quality. We've seen it. He just needs now to get his head down in training and force the manager to put him in his plans.
Would you recall Grady in January? Or would
Depends.
you? Me personally, I'd leave him out on loan for the rest of the season. I think he's doing well at West Brom. So I think Bilic knows him. He'll get him sort of playing well. It'll make him a lot tougher being in the Championship. So I think,
and that's one of the things I think he lacks in his game a bit. He's a little bit lightweight, and playing in that Championship, it's a tough league. It's a tough. He'll be up against tough opposition, but I'd recall him if he wasn't playing. He's not going to, even if he's playing really well at West Brom, he's not going to displace Anderson, Yarmolenko, Lanzini, Fornells when he plays, Antonio when he's back. He'll be sixth choice on the pecking order as wingers.
Yeah, that's why just to be out on loan and playing regularly.
Exactly. It's going to benefit him.
This is a good question, mate.
Go on.
Ben Stanley, relegation and an FA Cup win or a mid-table finish? Now, this is a difficult one because I love the FA Cup. I want to win the FA Cup, but I love Premier League football as well. And that's what you got to be. You got to be in the Premier League these days because you're not going to attract bigger and better players. But I've been to go down twice in the last 10, 15 years. Come back up. So I think I'll take the FA Cup win and then come back up the season after.
That's it. None of us want to see us get relegated. But if you look at the sides that like Pompey, Wigan, they're playing League One football. Sorry, well, they were playing League One football, but their fans have got that memory. They've won the FA Cup. We won the FA Cup in '80,
and recently as well.
Yeah.
In the last when in Portsmouth, when it 2008, and Wigan won it in 2012, was it something like that? They beat City, didn't they, or whenever it was?
And as I'm with you, you don't want to get relegated. You still want to be attracting the big profile, the high name players, and you don't really do that in a championship. But we could finish mid-table for the rest of our lives. You're not going to remember each season you finish mid-table.
Exactly. Mike makes a good point here. FA Cup win. The Premier's great, but FA Cup is history plus Championship, some class away days.
That is true. There's some good games in the Championship.
Yeah, there are good away days. Proper old grounds down there as well.
Yeah. That's the thing I like about going to Newport is that it's a town, like, it's the feel. You get the feel that's the focal point of the town sort of thing. It's proper old-fashioned, football. We're spoiled in the Premier League because we go to the big stadiums and things like that, and there's not that many. Like, Bournemouth is another one, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, Bournemouth's not that much bigger than Newport.
No, but it's that little town. That's the town, or and that's the hub of the town, the heart of the town, and the old-fashioned stadiums. We were sitting in some artificial stand type thing that was a bit like our seats at the London Stadium, just a bit cheaper, and we no roof over us. It started raining. Me and Dan sitting there in shorts and t-shirt. It starts to rain, but that's the old feel of football. Terracing down the other end as well. It's the stuff that we miss.
Let's have a look. Yeah, what else we got here? Right. Terry Butler, I don't think we'll be fighting relegation this season. Definitely top half. I agree with that. I don't think we're going to be anywhere near the bottom half of the table. I mean, no. if you was to sort of, we'll probably do a little review on how the season's gone so far after the Norwich game. But let's just say we do beat Norwich on Saturday. Let's just say it's a nice, comfortable 2-0 win. Everyone goes home happy. PMP's happy. How would you rate? What would you give the start of the season so far out of 10? If we beat Norwich,
it's got to be a 9.
A 9.
Yeah, the City game, we were never beating City. We're never beating City. Going away. The only reason it's not a 10 is because we lost to City and drew with Brighton.
Yeah, I think I'd probably give it about a 7 or 8, just because I think the Man City game was a total wipeout. But I think the Brighton game, it was the sort of the performance wasn't there. We was lucky to get away with that and nick a point. Yeah, probably.
But how many times have we been the side that have dominated a game or created a better chances and walked away on the losing side? So we dug deep. We've got a point, which when we'll probably look back at the end of the season, it'll be a good point.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's the difference with us this season. I think we will pick up points where we don't deserve them, and that's the difference between finishing in the top 7 and not. Because last season there was chances where we could have gone in the top 7 and we blew it. We bottled it basically. Yeah. We Spursed it up, as we like to say.
And the thing was, we normally did that against sides like Brighton last season. Where you think the Brighton away last season, was it last season we went there after slapping Man United?
Yep.
And got rolled over 1-0. So it's an improvement. I just think we're moving in the right direction. I do think top half will be comfortable for us this season. I really think that.
Yeah, I think we're. I know that me and Nicky done a video the other week, and I think Nicky titled it wrong. About Pellegrini. I think it was everyone thought we wanted Pellegrini to go. We were just talking about what people were talking on social media. I think we're in safe hands with Pellegrini. I still think he needs a bit of improvement with his tactics sometimes and his substitutions, but I think we're in the right hands. He's attracting bigger and better players. This is probably, looking at squads for squad, this is probably one of the best squads I've ever seen at West Ham. A massive improvement on even when we Billich's first season. I thought that was a great squad, quiet and that, but yeah, no, I think we've definitely got the players that we can. If we really knuckle down, we come back after the international break, because Villa away is going to be a tricky game. But if we get a win now and we keep this run going, come January, if we need to pick up a couple of players just to improve the squad and push us that bit further, because I think for us, everyone keeps talking about the next level. The next level for us is Europe. I know some people say, "Oh, we're not ready for it," but as we've said before, mate, you can't be ready for it if you don't play in it.
Exactly. That's the thing. We want to see consistent improvement. And Go on.
No, I was going to say, because if you do get in that Europa League, then you will attract bigger and better players.
Exactly. You know, Wolves done fantastic last season. Got into Europa League. They haven't started too badly this season, having to go through the qualifiers. So I just think, like you said, we're improving. The squad's improving. If we're in a good position come January, bring players in. Show a bit of ambition. You know, if we're in a better position than we were last year, sitting comfortable in the top half, you know, don't get me wrong, we know what football's like. Things could go wrong, a couple of injuries, we could have these problems. But show some ambition in January, wherever we are, and try and push on and get that European spot. You know, because, and then, even then, you know, it's just slow progression. Getting European football, as much as the Europa League's class as a second-rate European competition, it's still a competition we want to be in.
Still some big clubs in that competition.
Exactly. Look at you know, the final last season. You know, Chelsea Arsenal.
Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so there was more Premier League winners playing in the Europa League final than there was in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
You know, so it goes to show that the competition is a decent competition, and that's where we need to be pushing. You know, that's what we was promised. Moving from our place to Stratford, this is now what we want to see. We want to see the progression. We want to see the big money signings. We want to see the money spent, and get Europa League. You know, get that stability in the top half of the league, pushing the top for the top six. European football season after season, even if it is just the Europa League, and take us forward.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. And it's going to be a massive season for the club. It's going to be an interesting first half of the season as well.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
I remember seeing a lot of people walk out of that game after the Man City game, and they was a bit sort of, oh, here we go again. This is going to be another season. But I think we've done well. And as I said, if we beat Norwich on Saturday, which will be tough, nothing's guaranteed in the Premier League. But if we do, 7 points out of 12 is a great return for the first 4 games.
Yeah. How many other teams, you know, at the start of the season go into the first 4 games and walk off with that amount of points?
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
what are we? We're on 4 points now, aren't we? So we're sort of joint fourth, if you want to put it like that. But a good win on Saturday and a few results go our way, we could end up again in national break in the top 6.
Exactly. That's it.
After the first game. So that's how close it is in the Premiership and how it can change.
Yeah, that's it. You know, we've said it many a time. There's no easy games in the Premier League anymore. You know, you're not guaranteed points no matter where you go. And to go into the first, you know, if we beat Norwich, go into the first international break of the season with that amount of points, I just think is a really big step forward for us.
Yeah, definitely. That's right. Matt Powell, what did you think of Hugo's sitter on Saturday? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
That's why I owned him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he made up for it afterwards. Then he got another goal, but
it happens. It happens to players. I mean, you look at Watford's miss, Will Hughes. It just shows that it happens in the Premier League as well. And look, Hugo would have laughed that off, and as you said, he went and got himself a goal. So he's doing well for QPR. So I think
that's his level, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is his level. I don't think he'll ever get a chance at West Ham. You'll probably see him move on probably next summer. But then again, if he goes and scores 20, 25 goals in the Championship, you got to give him a chance in pre-season at least, just to see what he can do.
The thing is, mate, form's one of them things, isn't it? You hit a bit of a hot patch, you know, and start scoring goals. You know, you move forward. You got to look at Pukki. I know it's a different type of player, but you know.
All right, Ian Wilkins. Why is it still like where Scott is now? I'm going to tell you, that's not the light from the sky. That's from his sunbeds.
No, it's getting dark here. It's getting dark here.
It's getting dark where I am now. I think I can see myself sort of fading in the background. Like.
Yeah, I think it's the resolution on my camera. It must be set too high.
I think the lights are bringing out my tan a bit. Maybe it's me on the sunbeds. Look.
I look really pale in this light.
We've got a Chelsea fan in the room, and usually when Chelsea fans come in here, they give us a bit of stick. But I'm gonna put this one up. Pedro Neves, your biggest problem will be keeping your players at the end of the season good good squad. You know, that's a good point because let's just pick a couple of players here. Sebastian Haller. If he goes out and gets 15 to 20 goals, there's going to be teams sniffing around him.
Yep.
And
it was the same as this season. You know, we probably have that. We probably have that problem every season. When a player has a good season for us, the big clubs come sniffing. Diop, Man United allegedly were after him. We kept him.
Yeah,
you know,
this is what I'm thinking. Are we different now? Have we changed our stance on the way that we do things? Because a couple of seasons ago, we'd have sold Diop.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Arnautovic left, and the only reason he did leave is because he sort of kicked and screamed and cried and probably refused to train and play. And Pellegrini just said, "Look, get him out of the club."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Sebastian Haller. I mean, I think he signed a 5-year deal, wasn't it? Or 5-year deal. So
I think so.
He's at the club now, so the club have got to sort of say to these players, "Look, how can we progress and build if you want to walk out the door after one season?"
Exactly, and that's it. And the thing is, the Haller signing, as much as the board had to do it, it was still a statement that we landed a player like him with the stats that he had. There was probably a lot of clubs sniffing around for him, and it will be. It said if he has a good season, it will be tough to keep hold of him. But that's why I think we need to progress.
Massive fitness, as I can see Haller at Spurs or Arsenal now. That's the sort of clubs that like them sort of players. But then it's the one thing that worries me about Haller is that his comments when he first come into the club that he wants to play Champions League football. That's the only thing that worries me is that is he using us as a sort of stepping stone to come in the season and then go. But then if that's the case, then okay, you can leave, but we want double the money.
Exactly, you know, and that's the thing.
You're our player.
Yeah, if he comes in this season, he bangs 20, 25 goals, we get European football. Yeah, finish, have a decent cup run or get European football somehow. And then a club comes in for him and wants him, and he wants to go because they're in the Champions League. You can't be pissed off at a player for wanting to play at the highest level, but like I said, we want the right money for him. Gone are the days, you know. 22 million for Arnautovic was ridiculous. 25 million for Payet at the time was a joke. You know, them prices.
Said there, Haller is a top 4 player in my opinion. Class so much talent. Well, we are joint fourth at the moment, so technically he's a top 4 player. But no, I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah, if the players see the club progressing, it puts that little thing ringing a minute. I could stay here and. You know, I'm only young. I've got a few years. Like Rice, you know, Rice probably had the opportunity to leave in the summer to go to a bigger side, but he saw what we seem to be doing, the progression that we're making, and the fact that West Ham took a chance on him and gave him his chance and gave him first team football and made him an established player. You know, it's just it all depends on the player, doesn't it? You know, a lot of our players are young. They can progress and go on to play for the so-called big sides, but sometimes you get in regular football, the team's doing well and the team's progressing. You want to stay part of that. You want to stay part of that progression, which is, you know, it's a bit rare in modern day footballers. It's either the money or you want to play in the Champions League, and you ain't going to stop a player leaving to go and play in the Champions League. You know, that's the highest level in domestic football. So you want them to go and to play there, but you'd rather them drag us up there with them. If you know what I mean.
You'd rather us take us into the Champions League, because if you keep selling every time you get a good squad, if you keep breaking it up piece by piece, because I think Haller is the sort of player we have been missing for a long time. He looks the complete striker. I mean, as we said on post-match pint, and we've said since, just his movement and the way he's always looking to get a shot away, and I think that's. And he's a big unit who can bring other players into play. And I think with the likes of Lanzini, Anderson, Fornals, Yarmolenko, all playing around him, you know, he's going to get chances. He's going to score a few goals this season for us. Yeah, definitely. I think the good thing as well for us with him, if any, I would think if he suits any team better in the Premier League, it would have been Chelsea. I don't see him fitting with the likes of Arsenal and Spurs, but I see him fitting the way Chelsea play. He would fit with Chelsea, but with that transfer ban, you know, it's looking at the strikers that sort of City have signed over the few years, I could see City maybe sort of looking for a player like that, or even a Liverpool. I mean, I think he'd suit any team in the top four. I really do. I think he's that good, and I think we sort of got lucky getting him, because let's not beat about it. Maxi Gomez was our number one choice. That's who they wanted.
But he never wanted to come.
No, it was a blessing in disguise, and I'm glad he didn't come, because we've obviously gone out and got Sebastian Haller, and I think he's going to be a fan's favourite, and I'm looking forward to seeing him already. Yeah,
same, mate. He said didn't know nothing about him when he signed. Saw these stats that he had playing in the Bundesliga, and he just that's what we needed. His type of player when we lost Arnie. We needed someone who was going to cause teams problems with their physicality and their strength, but also could link up the other players. You know, and
I've said it. When Payet left, we needed a new hero. And Natovic come in. Natovic is gone. Now we've got Haller come in, and he's going to be a new hero. That's what happens with football. Players do move on. But I'm hoping that someone like Sebastian Haller will realise that he's at a great club. He's at a club that want to go on and progress. The board, to their credit, have backed Pellegrini since he's walked through that door. Maybe it's sort of you can sort of understand now why they didn't back Bilic as much as they did, and sort of David Moyes, because they knew that they wanted a Pellegrini type manager to chuck all the money at. So there's still the squad still needs some improvements, but at the moment, I mean, I'm happy with the squad.
Yeah, it's same, mate. Same. I'm happy with the squad. I'm happy with what we're trying to do, the way we're trying to play. I'm with you. There's still a lot of work to do, especially defensively. But I think also with the way we're now playing, that if we get to the end of the season and we've had a good season and Pellegrini thinks it's time to move on, the way we play now is much easier for another manager to come in, if you know what I mean. Like the way we were under Allardyce, Bilic tried to change that, and then we ended up going back to an Allardyce type manager because that's what suited the team. I think now we're suited to get managers in that want to play want to play the ball on the floor, don't want to just sit back and defend with 10 men behind the 11 men behind the ball all the time. If you get what I mean.
No, I totally agree, and I think that Pellegrini's got them brought in the sort of players since he's been at a club. You look at the squad that when he first walked in to his first season at signings, and then now he's brought some more attacking players and players that play football on the floor. Even when you look in January when he brought in Nasri's that type of player. So he's always looking for that sort of player. He's not looking for the long ball merchants that we've been used to over the last few years. I think that sort of football now is a dying breed in the Premier League. You don't see many teams play like that no more. Even you look at no disrespect to them, but I thought a team like Wolves were going to be like that last season. But they were one of the best entertaining teams to watch.
Yeah, exactly. They ripped us to shreds, didn't they, last season?
And that just shows you, mate, that teams now want to play football, and that's why you don't get many high-scoring games no more and things like that, because teams sort of they're so like for like.
Exactly. That's it. It's a good thing for a football fan, I think, now with these amount of teams that are not just going to go places just to sit, and a bit like Norwich, come into the Premier League, played Liverpool, didn't sit back. They give it a go, and they cause them problems. So it's better as a neutral fan, when take not watching West Ham when you're watching football, the Premier League football. It makes for much more entertainment and much more entertaining games that you appreciate watching it.
Well, if Pellegrini gets sacked, mate, in the next few weeks,
Graham as next manager.
Graham as the next manager. I can see it. He's there. He's done well with the ironworks. You both have, haven't you? You won a trophy and things like that.
Two trophies, 2 seasons, 2 back-to-back promotions as well. So can't grumble, mate.
Definitely in for the job, mate. But look, we're coming up to 59 minutes, Scott. So we'll start wrapping up now, mate. But I noticed you're sporting one of our new T-shirts there, mate. Boys of the Bowling.
Out of all the ones I've got, I like this one the most. I must admit.
It's nice, that one. It is nice, that one. Do you know what? I'm waiting for mine still to be delivered, man. It's getting. You know what? No lie. I see a delivery van outside my window earlier, and I thought it was for me. And I stood at the window, like waiting, like a kid at Christmas, waiting for Santa to go past. So Hopefully I'll get them. Hopefully it might come tomorrow. Nikki messaged me yesterday and said that they've been dispatched, so I might get them tomorrow. So
fingers crossed, mate.
On Saturday. If not, I'll probably get them in December when it's freezing cold and on a jumper.
Yeah, that's the worrying thing, isn't it? You know, you want them now while the weather's nice, so you can show them off. I said everyone, people have commented they are. Look, we're going to plug them because they're ours, but they are actually nice t-shirts. You know, they're very comfortable. They're not rough. They're nice fitting. You know, so they're good.
The Pixel's going to get a shirt before I do. I think it will.
Have we made it to an hour before someone mentioned the Pixel?
I think we're gonna give the Pixel its own show. There you go.
Yeah, just that's it, mate. There it is. So is that on the laptop?
I bet that Pixel says more on post-match pint than what Graham ever did.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's something to do with the camera in it. I think when Nicky gets back, he's going to take it up to the shop, and I think they're going to put a new sort of lens in. But the amount of people that wipe their screen and things like that. And the thing is, I position it so sort of away from me. When Nicky does it, he has it like that, so he looks like Marilyn Monroe. Looks like he's got a beauty spot. We'll leave it there, mate. We've gone on for an hour now. It goes so quick, doesn't it? I told you it goes quick.
It does, mate. It does. It's been good. It's been good. Thanks for letting me come on.
Thanks for joining me this week, mate, or today.
That's right, mate.
Your preview's just gone up before this show, so if you haven't watched Scott's preview yet, go and watch it. Always a good watch. Knows his stuff.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
When he tries to pronounce the names, me and you are the worst for pronouncing names.
Yeah, it's one of the technical problems and pronunciations. What I go to Dan for, because he seems to he must practice. I think.
You know, I always do. You know, and I'm going to let people into a little secret here. Like when I do the transfer shows or on the social, and we sign a new player, and they've mentioned, if I don't know how to pronounce their name, I'll Google translate their name in their language, that the country they're from, and it tells me how to pronounce it. So when I come on, I announced, everyone was calling Sebastian Haller, and all that. When I done it, it was Haller. When I done it, everyone was commenting saying, "Oh, look, Ryan knows how to say it properly." And I was thinking, Google Translate.
That's it, mate. It's a good tool. That it is a good tool.
Yeah, no, it's like Google Translate is it's really good for when players you don't know how to announce their names. But look, as always,
look up there, look, there he is.
Who's that?
Yo, mate, it's Cody.
Oh, look. You're live. Don't swear, Cody.
We done well, mate. We made it before he tried to made it to almost the end of the show before he made an appearance.
But no, I'll let you go, mate, because your little boy looks like he wants his daddy. I want to watch him.
He's been out all day.
I want to watch him.
Look,
listen, everyone, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We're closing in on the 50k now, which would be massive for us. We're gonna do some giveaways. I think we're gonna go out for a drink after when we do it, and basically everyone can come down the pub, buy your own drinks. We ain't buying them for you. We ain't that rich yet, unless you all buy t-shirts and make us millionaires, Rodney.
You never know. You never know, mate.
No one got my joke the other day. I said we played Newport County at Dave Parade. Yeah,
it's Rodney Parade, isn't it? You said Dave Parade.
Dave Parade. Only Fools and Horses. That's what you called it, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah.
I haven't gone down
that's
well.
true.
Fuck it. I'm not a comedian, but
that's it, mate. That's it.
Yeah, look, we'll leave it there. Scott, me and you will be back on Saturday for
yes, mate.
PMP. I'll be doing the fan cams this week as Nicky is still away, and then
I'll be behind the camera.
Yeah, you'll be holding the camera. Dan will be doing instant match reaction. I think he'll be doing a reaction with the Norwich Norwich City boys.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll leave it there, Scott. So as always, mate, one thing to say.
Come on your own.
Thank you everyone for watching. Now you got to do an awkward wave now, Scott, while this ends. Just wave to the camera. Just wave. Keep waving.